is Mark Hertz.
Go ahead.
Okay? 39 years ago, October 31, 1984, I started in the real estate business.
You were born, that's when you were born?
No, I was
okay.
born November 9th, 1960.
All right.
Okay? 39 years ago. If I'd be 39 today, I'd have a full head of hair. That boat has since sailed.
I hear you. I hope to be ready to also have my full head of hair with Hashem's help.
Halavai.
So let's start back again. Your name is Mark Hertz. Your company's called the Mark Hertz Company.
My company is called, we've rebranded.
Oh.
Our company is called the Mark Hertz Group.
Okay.
Okay.
What
The
do you
Mark
guys
Hertz
do?
Group consists of 4 different companies. Come to our booth, you will find our sheet, which is explanative. We're in the process of redoing our brochure with our new logos, etc. And we do 4 different things. We started as the Mark Hertz Company, which handles violations, represents people in front of Oath, ECB, handles clearing off your fire department, your building department, your Department of Transportation, your Department of Health, your HPD, your Department of Environmental Protection violations, etc. There are many more. I just enlist them all. We then realized that we need to be a one-stop shop. So we have formed what's called the Mark Hertz Associates, Mark Hertz Build, and Mark Hertz Environmental. Now, you realize we have A, B, C, and E. So if you want to know what D stands for, one day we're going to write a book called Mark Hertz for Dummies.
I like it. So tell me, but let's
So
explain.
what do we do? We help make your real estate more valuable, and we help you be compliant with city rules and regulations so that nothing falls by the wayside. There is so much for a property owner or a property manager to do, like dealing with their tenants, collecting their rent, repairs, managing their staff, superintendents, porters, etc. But to focus on violations, to focus on hearings, to focus on the extensions that they want to make, or making sure that applications filed with the Department of Buildings are signed off, which Mark Hertz Build does, or to focus on their compliance, such as Local 152 gas tests, such as energy benchmarking, such as energy auditing, such as Local 97 sustainability, which is coming into effect, which Mark Hertz Associates does, or to focus on their lead paint requirements, which are due every apartment from Local 30, based on Local 31.
Let me just stop you for a second. If I understand correctly, and I would assume that your clients fit one of 2 molds, right? You either have the person who's in a problem, right? They have a violation, please help me fix it. And that's not obviously not your ideal client, because your ideal client is you want to get the building owner and say, hey, listen, let's oversee your business. Let me see what's going on to make sure you do not get violations, right? I'm assuming that's the thing.
And contractors. We can help contractors as well. There are many times that, and for that matter, title companies will come to us before a deal, whether it be refinance or a sale, to make sure that they're holding enough escrow to compensate for the amount of open issues, violations, open applications, etc., lack of filing of elevator
Most of your
inspections.
clients are building owners, right?
Most of them are building owners and contractors.
So let's understand the obvious, I don't want to say issue, but something you have to deal with. And that is that everyone's like, listen, when things go wrong, I'll deal with it, right? What percentage of your clients are acute problems, or what percentage is preventive? And I hope you're saying most are preventative.
Unfortunately, most of our clients are not preventative. But they're making the mistake.
Progress.
The mistake that they're making is that they focus on it when it's going to start hitting them in the pocketbook. And as we all know today, the real estate industry, specifically in New York City, whether it be since June 14th, 2019, Friday at 6 p.m., when Governor Cuomo signed the Hofstra law, which made it much more difficult to increase the value of your real estate, to do individual apartment increases and things of that sort, IAIs, or whether it be post-corona, when you no longer have very many sales transactions going on, you no longer have very many refinances going on because the interest rate is through the moon, you no longer have any of the government programs like real estate tax abatements or rent increases. One today has to be more on top of their real estate than ever to watch their pocketbook. Because
let me ask you a question, Mark. How many people work in your company today?
Over 25.
Over 25. How did you start off this business? I know you're 39, but when you were 20, how did you start off this business?
It started 39 years ago, but how did we start off this business? The business was started by the Rebbeinu Shalom, and the Rebbeinu Shalom put it into our mind.
Okay, and you as a shliach, how did you start?
So as me as a shliach, at one point, I owned some real estate, and I did management as well, and my business was going down the drain. And I went
because of violations, because of issues like this?
Because you want to know because I don't know, to be honest with you.
Okay, that's fair.
And I went into a different business, a printing business. And I said, no, I'm a third generation real estate person. My grandfather, Zechron Levrach, was in real estate. My father, Zechron Levrach, was in real estate. I'm a third generation real estate person. I'm not going out of the real estate business. And I walked around and I said to myself, what is missing? And with the help of someone else who recommended this to me, he started a consultancy group. A gentleman by the name of Henry Hertz, should live and be well. He started a consultancy group. And there's one person that does DHCR, which is a state issue. There's one person that does water, another person that does real estate tax reduction, and I was the one that handled the violations. And we used to be a group together, a whole bunch of people.
First of all, I have to ask you, you often refer to yourself in third person, not purposely, by calling your companies. Why do all your companies have the name Mark Hertz, Mark Hertz, Mark Hertz? Why did you decide to do that?
I didn't. It happened by chance.
Explain.
Mark Hertz company was started initially, and it got a name out there. So it has.
You didn't have another name, so you just called it by your name.
It has ID. People know it. It's been around for years. So if it's been around for years,
So when you started, why do you think to start with that name?
It was the recommendation of this gentleman, Henry Hartstein, that he wanted me to start it that way.
I'll tell you something very interesting, what I'm noticing about what you do, and I think it's a unique business strategy, and I think it's working for you. You don't speak about it. I've spoken to you quite a few times. You never talk about how you deal with violations, which I'm sure is an expertise, and you know how to deal with the government. All you talk about is, Rabbi Isai, come to us before it's a problem. Let us analyze your business. Let's look at your property. Let's figure it out. And that obviously, you did say the majority is the acute. I think and then it leads to a lot of business. I think it's a very smart tool. And what that is that they always talk about, how do you build a brand? How do you build networking? By educating. And the fact is, you're educating people by telling them, listen to me, don't wait till something goes wrong. Let's come to you now. And by default, that turns you into the place for violations. Is that true?
That is true, and I'd like to think of the strategy as being Chas al Mamoyne Shal Yisrael. We have Rachmanas al Mamoyne Shal Yisrael. That's why when you give me a building to work on, I look at it, and so does everyone in my office. Not my staff, the people that work with me. They're not my staff. They're Rebbeinu Shalom staff. I just work with them. We all look at it as if it's our building, and our goal is to, when we return it to you, enhanced in value. If we do that, we have been successful.
Is this your first year at the OGBA?
This is the first year we took a booth at OJB.
What's I know it's people that know this, they might be watching this in a few months. It's an hour and a half into it. What's your experience so far?
I think it's phenomenal. It's a place where contractors, vendors, owners, managers, builders, and everyone in the trade can get together under one roof and see all the different options that there are. And all I can do is hope and pray that they will come to us.
Based on people that I've spoken to, it definitely will. One final question: how do you deal with stress?
What stress? Who has stress? I don't have stress.
I
never worked a day in my life. If you enjoy what you do, you don't work.
That's the old Chinese saying.
How do I deal with stress?
When you're under acute stress.
How do I deal with stress? Over the last 2 years ago, Elul, I started leaving the office at 4 o'clock. I joined an afternoon kollel. I'm learning the Ian. Chulun, it happens to be. Rabbi David Maisel eingesund.
So that gives you, that's great. Because
I got to tell you, I said this in Darche a few weeks ago at Hascholos Gemara Suda. I was asked to speak by Rabbi Dovi Morgenstern. And I said, I have a friend, the friend was me, that leaves his office loaded with stress and wired up, opens up that Gemara, and the stress goes by the wayside.
What's great about that is that you actually, some people might find it stressful to have to leave at 4 p.m. But they say that's where it comes in.
It is.
But that's the Emunah B'Tachon Hashem, that you say you take care of yourself a little bit, and in each case, by learning Torah, and then it works out. Thank you for coming. It's great seeing you.
Thank you. Good seeing you. Be well.